I'm not taste it. I've got a little thing in my throat right now.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
She's got bad lungs.
I bet.
And on that note, welcome everyone to another episode of the podcast no one knows about.
Yeah.
Except Janet, my mother. Put it in my mouth. I'm Lala. With me, as always, is Judith.
Hi.
We've known each other since we were 18. Yo, I had to get out of the city.
You did. You busted a move.
Look, I hate winter.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's soul crushing. Having lived in LA for 22 years, I just don't enjoy it. I'm trying to become one with the weather, but I don't like it.
You have to get out.
Oh, I got out. I was dealing with a boy situation.
Gross.
Not even a man.
So gross.
A boy situation, and luckily I have friends, and I went to Miami for 2 nights. Not even Miami, but Palm Beach.
We've had some great times in Miami. Well, we had a great time.
I have really only been to Miami like one other time, and that is because our esteemed and beautiful producer Candice is a casting director, and she casts
Magic Mike Live.
Cast a little show called Magic Mike Live. So, right?
So, but it was like
that was a great
adult
time.
Vacation, right? You know, like we were adults doing adult things, but also we got to see Magic Mike, which was amazing.
We got grinded up on.
But also like a force for feminism.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Okay, just
there's all the women that are there like on their like
your judgment.
Their what's it called?
Oh, hen.
Yeah, they're
dudes.
bachelorette.
They're
things.
bachelorette parties, right?
Right.
So like, but that was like an adult experience. I had like a weekend in my early 20s.
Oh, tell me about that Miami experience.
It was a lost weekend. There was like, okay, wait. So I'm on the beach with a bunch of people that I had just met, and we're all like doing cocaine on the beach.
During the day?
Yeah, during the day.
Okay.
Right. Wow. So then one of the gentlemen says to me very seriously, you cannot do cocaine and Red Bull at the same time.
That's like the wives' tale. Like you can't drink Coca-Cola and eat Pop Rocks.
Wait. But that's not even the punchline. The punchline was, I know because I'm a doctor.
Oh, this gentleman was a doctor. I
like
love that
it's the Red Bull plus the Coke. I mean, what were we doing in our 20s?
You can with yellow.
Also,
sugar-free.
We haven't introduced you yet. You're just a random voice. But also, when was the last time you actually had a Red Bull? Because I can't remember. Like, I remember drinking Red Bull and vodka when we were in our rave days. Like, we were like early 20s. I cannot remember the last time I drank a Red Bull.
The last time I had a Red Bull
or did cocaine
before COVID, and I don't know why I was drinking it. I must have been desperate. And it was on the subway, and this woman like really loudly is like, I hate the smell of Red Bull.
Out loud? She said?
Yeah. And like glared.
You're like, then move.
Fucking move. Yeah. It was so weird. But then I was like, you know what? It does smell disgusting.
It's gross.
Okay.
It smells to me like dirty clubs, like late night, like afters.
That's just sense memory.
It is.
That's
it truly
just the
is.
method.
I'm glad that you've had interesting and fun Miami experiences, because really I haven't really had many Miami experiences because I've always been West Coast. So now that I'm East Coast, it's like all New Yorkers like love Miami, and I get it for the weather, but and the
Jewish grandparents.
Oh, because you're. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, like everyone's Jewish well, not Miami, cool Miami, but like north of Miami.
Yeah, I haven't really loved it.
Yeah.
But I do love the beach and the sunshine.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a quick
Also,
fix.
can I just say that the shirts we're wearing seem very Miami?
Yeah, super Miami.
You're mine too.
Anyway.
Okay, well.
I think this one's water, one's tequila. Anyway, let's bring on our guest, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so today our guest is an extremely decorated chef from Los Angeles.
Decorated. Yeah.
He is
crown molding.
Paris educated. He is a Bobby Flay beating Food Network regular, a James Beard nominee, a grilled cheese aficionado, a cookbook author, an all-around badass entrepreneur of the culinary world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chef Eric Greenspan.
Hi.
Hello.
You're clearly an entrepreneur.
Yes, I am.
You have started. First of all, there hasn't been any new American cheese in years. You have
Like 100 years.
Like 100 years. So you have started a company called New School.
I have.
Give us the 30-second and under pitch on New School cheese.
New School American cheese is the world's meltiest, tastiest, only premium American cheese made from real ingredients like aged cheddar, real cream, real butter.
This is a thing?
Yes.
Oh, this is a thing.
Yes.
Oh my
This is not just a thing.
God.
This is like
the thing.
the thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
Have
it's
you not?
delicious.
You're friends with her. You've never given. Yeah.
No, I've just met her. We
Yeah. I was
just
gonna say
started
like
doing
you've never been like.
We don't know
"Hey,
each
you
other."
try this cheese.
Did
I
you
need
bring
to
me
try
some?
this cheat.
You didn't bring me some?
I have some in my bag.
Okay, we're incorporated into my pop up. What's up, Greenie?
You know, it's funny because like that bio. I don't know where that bio came from.
My head.
I don't. But you're not the first person who said this about the James Beard. Like, yes, I beat Bobby Flay. Yes,
yeah.
all the other stuff you talked about, Red Bull,
All correct.
cocaine, the whole thing. But I don't remember being nominated for a James Beard Award, and I might have been because like my PR person obviously put it in my bio at some point, and like,
It's on the
she's
internet.
honorable. But
She's not lying to you.
and to be clear, there've been some hazy days.
Yeah.
But I mean, one
But I
imagines
don't.
you might remember.
I don't recall
James.
that nomination.
I believe it said that you were the Foundry or maybe
it was
Mark
it was probably
was
the Foundry
nominated
Members.
for Best New Restaurant.
Oh, so that wasn't me.
Well, that's your
It was
restaurant.
well, yeah. But a restaurant is a team.
Okay. Give it up for your team, but also you.
Okay, I don't remember it, but I'm sure it happened.
Okay, it happened. We're telling you.
I don't remember a lot of the Foundry. If you're planning on talking Foundry for this, we could go back to talking about cocaine and Red Bull because it's pretty much the same thing.
It's so upsetting to think. I don't want to talk about it.
Actually, what year was the Foundry?
Foundry was 2007 to 2015.
Okay.
What's the Foundry?
Okay.
How dare you?
I mean, educate me.
Yeah.
So the Foundry at Miller's was my first restaurant that I opened.
Okay.
After chefing at.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's take it back.
Oh, let's take it all the way back.
Let's take it back.
As it goes. Eric Greenspan was born a young,
Yeah.
a young poor child.
Do it.
You were raised in New Jersey.
Born, raised. I moved away. I moved to California from New Jersey when I was 9.
Oh, okay.
So like when there, I'm like a New Yorker,
Right.
and here I'm a Californian, and so I belong nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Yeah, I can't win.
Yeah. Okay, so then you did your stints in Paris. You went to Le
Culinary
Cordon
school in Paris.
Bleu. You
I
worked at El Bleu?
I was a short order cook
Oh, that's
in
fun.
college.
Okay.
So I went to Berkeley, and then while I was in school, I worked full time as a short order cook because I liked that better.
So what did you go to college for?
Business.
So you had no aspirations to be a chef, and you were just like,
No, I did. I desperately tried to drop out of school to go to culinary school.
Oh.
And I couldn't figure out like how to explain it to my parents. And
They're
so
like, but you got into
yeah,
Berkeley.
you're in Berkeley, dude.
Yeah.
What are you, fucking dumb?
yeah.
Alas. And so the business program, the undergraduate business program when I was there was like the #1 program in the country. So I applied to get in, and I didn't get in.
Okay.
And so then, sneaky fucking me,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I'm just going to take all business school classes. And then when I don't get in next semester,
Choose your own adventure, make your own degree.
if I don't get it next semester, then I'm too far gone. I'm like too far, like it's a wasted
in it to
year.
win it.
It's
Yeah.
a wasted year and I didn't get in. So then I could tell my parents, like, it's either a whole other year of college
Double win.
or I go to culinary school. Now,
That's sneaky. That's sneaky.
You're a dickhead. I love that.
I mean, that's better than like, I'm going to be a theater major.
yeah.
Which
and then I
were.
were you guys both theater majors?
Yes,
that's how we know each
Never
other.
mad.
I like that.
Like, whose parents let us do
like
that?
that.
I guess our parents let
Our
us do
parents
that.
are such beautiful.
They are really
jerks.
supportive, lovely.
Really thought we were
like
gonna
my
make
favorite.
it.
But look, here we are.
Hi.
We're in storage closet. What?
We are.
Okay, yeah.
Don't tell the people. Don't destroy the
Yeah,
illusion.
no.
Okay.
So what made you want to cook?
I was a job.
Okay, so you weren't like, this is a life goal.
No, it became that real quick. I got hired as a busboy, and I worked for like 2 hours as a busboy.
Uh-huh.
And so when the other busboys were like, you need to like calm down. Like you're doing too good of a job.
Too much.
And the owner and it was like a busy Sunday. It was a breakfast place, and I told the owner, I'm like, I want to work in there in the kitchen. He's like, do you know how to cook? And so I pushed 1 minute start on the microwave. And they hired me. And I was a prep cook for like 2 weeks for Richard, the Creole ex-con meth addict.
Okay.
And Brownie, his sidekick, who just got out of jail for selling acid on Dead Tour. And
Brownie
and Richard.
Yeah. And Richard had like a psychotic episode about like 2 weeks into my employment. Okay. Swore that the owners were out to get him. Which is so weird because meth addict ex-cons typically see things really clearly.
Yeah.
But Richard was the outlier.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
And Brownie was like, if you're walking, I'm walking. So I
love the solidarity.
So dummies walk out.
Yeah.
And it's Sunday morning. And they're like, can you do it? And I'm like, sure. And so, I did it to the best of my abilities. I broke egg yolks all the time. And like 4 eggs flipped to every one I served. But I'm someone who likes to accomplish something.
Yeah.
And at the end of like the first hour and a half, I need a cigarette. And I outside and I realized that I had accomplished I had 5 minutes to accomplish 20 things. And then you do it.
Right.
And then you have 5 minutes to accomplish another 20 things. So within the first hour and a half, I'd accomplished more than I had accomplished in my entire fucking life.
And you feel like a weird sense of satisfaction,
my bar mitzvah. And so I was hooked. So when it was a job, I was hooked on the job. The adrenaline and the drive and the ability and all of that shit is what really drew me to it. And then I went to culinary school afterwards because, I was like, if I'm going to do this,
I should know how to make a mother sauce.
I should do it really fucking well.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
So then culinary school and then New York. So I cut my teeth in New York City.
Where'd you work in New York?
The places of repute, or we'll just talk
or ill repute.
Yeah, we'll skip it.
Ill or otherwise.
The places of repute. Union Pacific with Rocco DeSpirito.
Rocco.
Yeah. And then it's to this day the best food that I've ever cooked for anybody else in somebody else's restaurant. The food we cooked at Union Pacific was fucking awesome. Rocco was a fucking savage. I hated him to death. I love him dearly.
The man who basically created food reality television.
I love him dearly. Ruined it. Actually.
Yeah.
But I love him dearly now, but I hated him then. He cooked, but the food we cooked there was amazing. Boulay Bakery. David Boulay. God rest his soul.
Rest in peace.
Tough week for those of us in the Boulay school. I helped open the Essex House, El Landucas, at the Essex House. And then I did El Bouilly for the French take 8 weeks off for fucking vacation because they're lazy people. And so
are they just
know how to live life?
Maybe both.
Yeah,
you can be both.
Call me.
They're mutually exclusive.
So what took you to LA?
I mean, I grew up out there. My whole family was out there. So 9/11 had just happened here. I didn't want to leave because of 9/11. The fucking Ducasse was like, "You can stay, but we're not gonna pay you." And you're like, "Oh, and yet I can stay? Why, merci beaucoup,
I
Jack.
Can?
So kind of
may
you."
I?
And so I bounced that day out of that job. And I was like, you're going into restaurants and you're just like, I'll take, you need 2 veg cooks. I'll do both of their jobs for 1.5 of the money. I need to make a certain amount of money and I want to stay here. But and it just became you just realized that there was no vibrance in the restaurant scene after 9/11 and it wasn't coming back for a while. So it was either stay there for a year and ride out the storm. And I'm like, I'm not gonna I don't want to leave the city, but I'm not gonna ride out a fucking storm.
And
right
you
now.
don't know how long.
I'm 27 years
old.
old.
No one knew.
I just finished working at El Bulli and Ducasse and Boulay. I'm not gonna hold down 2 veg stations at Citarella while y'all figure out how to fucking put your economy back together again.
Right.
So I bounced.
So you went to LA.
Went to LA.
You worked at Patina.
I was the sous chef at Patina, and then I was I believe the youngest executive chef ever.
Oh.
That restaurant was around for 30 years.
Don't start.
Such a legend.
Are we talking about white pubes? Is that where we're going?
No, we're talking about the legendary status of that restaurant.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So
I had no business being hired. When they hired me to be the chef there, when Joachim Spichal. So
yeah.
Tell her about Patina.
80s.
Yeah, we're going back.
2 restaurants, actually probably 4, but in the French restaurant world, there was 2 restaurants that ran LA. There was Spago.
Still in existence.
And there was Patina.
Okay.
No
Spago was run by the flamboyant Austrian Wolfgang Puck.
Hello.
Hello. That guy.
Okay.
Right? Who everybody loves.
I do love him.
Everybody loves him. Why? How could you not love Wolfgang Puck? And then Patina was run by Joachim Spleichel.
Oh,
Now, now mind you,
not as fun to no.
Joachim
A little more in the throat.
in L.A. His name is Joachim. Joachim. But real ones know he's Joachim.
I mean, in the town of Los Feliz.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
Los Feliz.
So
like
Joachim, not the charming man that Wolfgang Puck was.
No.
But like Joachim, people don't know this about Joachim. Like Ducasse, Joachim, when he was the sous chef at Maxim's in Paris, he's like a German dude. Alain Ducasse was like a veg cook. Like Joachim was his boss. Like Joachim Spleichel is a fucking gangster. And so Patina, his restaurant, was
downtown LA.
like Spago was where everybody wanted to be seen. And look,
in Beverly Hills.
And Wolfgang cooks great food, but nobody cooked food like Joachim Spleichel. Patina was the quintessential #1 French restaurant in Los Angeles for many
white
years.
tablecloths.
Okay.
Downtown.
Super tasting
Traditional.
menu, fancy fucking like let's go.
Yeah.
One of those.
So all of this
And I ran that. That was my first executive chef job.
Wow.
At like 27.
doing all the cocaine. No,
I mean, yeah.
that's just a.
I mean, no, we did not all of it.
I mean,
not all of it.
There's still more to be found.
Yeah, there was some left for others.
So let's fast forward. That took you to then.
So then I left. So that restaurant closed to go to the Walt Disney Concert Hall and like to become like a pre-theater house basically. And I'm like, yeah, that's not.
It lost
like
a little bit of its allure.
Well, here's the deal. It had already lost its allure before I was hired, to be clear. And then they brought back Walter Mansky from like Republic Now and Mansky Restaurants.
Sure.
And I was his sous chef before, and he had left before I went to go work for Ducasse. Anyway, they brought him back.
You're dropping names.
Yeah,
He was
so
chef.
many
by the way.
names.
You're
I'm
dropping
lost.
It's
so
about
many
to get
names.
fucking worse. So hang on.
I just want to talk about your own restaurants, but okay, go ahead.
So anyway,
We've got 40 minutes.
we got more time than that. We have all fucking
This is
night. Where's the
tequila,
bottle
right?
of tequila? We have all night. Do not silence me.
Oh my
so anyway,
goodness.
Blah, blah, blah.
Right,
Best
right.
restaurant in Los Angeles. My first
Oh.
time. I restored it to glory in many ways. And
If you do say so yourself.
And then they went, others said it too. You can Google it. And then when it moved to the concert hall, I left. And I did like all sorts of shit. Like I opened up a restaurant called Maison G that lasted like maybe 3 months.
Oh.
I mean, the owners didn't get along. And then I swore I would never work for anybody else again. I taught at like a culinary school for a little bit. And
Blah,
then I opened
blah,
up
blah,
my first
blah, blah,
restaurant,
blah.
the Foundry on Melrose, in 2007.
Which led you to that.
Yeah.
Opening your first restaurant, being your own boss,
Yes.
not working for any of the Frenchy douchies.
You strike me as someone who needs to be his own boss.
Yeah.
It helps. I'm also not good at that.
Oh no.
So you opened the Foundry
did.
on Melrose.
I did.
Which I went to.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Often or just once?
I think more than once. Definitely more than once, because I remember it had buzz. It was.
Oh, it was buzzy.
It was buzzy. It was
Yeah.
definitely buzzy.
Yeah, it was a
a
buzzy joint.
restaurant of the time. That area on Melrose is also very buzzy. And then, and I don't think you remember this.
Live jazz in the front.
Yes.
Oh,
Like the best jazz band ever.
So you had the
Oh,
Foundry.
they were amazing.
okay.
And then you had. I'm just.
Reaching for it.
I'm
Tell
just.
me what
I'm
I have.
consolidating.
Condensing.
Did I have
Condensing.
Lala?
I'm condensing.
Yeah.
Then you open Mare
Uh-huh. Well, Greenspan's grilled cheese
and
first.
Greenspan's grilled cheese. Now, Judith, I have a photo. I tried to find it today and I couldn't find it.
You have a photo of her Greenspan's grilled cheese?
I have a photo of her at Mare. So,
Really?
yes. So, what year was that?
I don't even remember. It was such a blip. I mean, it was open and closed in like a year and a half.
So, the cool thing about Mare was, and I don't know if
There's
you
a
remember
lot
this,
of
but you
cool
came
things.
to LA to visit, and I
yeah.
was like,
Cool
we're
things
going to this hip spot because you enter through a grilled cheese shop. And there's a hidden patio in the back.
It's like a 40-year-old fake wood refrigerator door.
And this
that
was
you would,
before,
open.
like, this shit was, like,
I do
everywhere.
remember
Way ahead.
yeah.
So we had to walk into the grilled cheese
Past
shop,
me sitting at my desk.
and we walked
Hi.
into this patio that was so charming with
So
like
charming.
the string
And
lights.
the olives and the
Yeah,
it's
and
such a cool
we had
fucking
dinner
place.
at
Such
Mare,
a
and it
cool
was
place.
a seafood focused
You
restaurant.
would have like bowls of
Zimsky,
pasta.
you remember things that I don't remember.
I think I only remember it because I have a photo of you and you look so pretty and you're like under the string lights and you're just like, and I'm like,
Well,
oh,
find
that
that
was
photo.
I know. I tried looking for it today.
Well, this thing's gonna air in what, like 6 months? You have 6 months to find it. Then put
No,
it up.
hopefully sooner. But yeah, if I do find it, that would be amazing. So you have been to one of his restaurants before.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you
that.
for your patronage.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Lovely. Okay, so Foundry, fine dining.
Ish.
But with your own twist. I like how you were doing your thing. Then
yeah.
you're like, fuck this. You did have a grilled cheese on the menu.
Yep. I had
you're like,
the champ on the menu. It was like the grilled cheese.
And then you're like, I'm going to open a grilled cheese restaurant.
I needed the money.
So you
And who doesn't love a grilled cheese?
You opened a grilled cheese restaurant.
I
You
did.
even have like a grilled cheese cookbook, right?
I do. The Great Grilled Cheese Book. Aptly named. Because it's fucking great.
I mean, Zemsky, maybe you can tell me, like, how many grilled cheeses could there be?
Let's ask
50
the
in the book.
master.
There's 50 in the book.
50.
And infinite. I can go forever.
Okay.
Ever.
All right.
Infinite will.
All right.
Infinite
So
will of grilled
at
cheese.
this point, you're
Top of my game.
You're top of your game. You have restaurants.
Eric Greenspan is the fucking man at this point.
Okay, so how does Eric Greenspan then become a Food Network personality? How do you as he sucks on his vape? How do you transition
Not
from?
true. It's not what that was.
Oh, okay. How do you transition from working for all these
Well,
French
you don't
guys?
transition it. It was ancillary.
Tell us about it.
So Adam Gertler put that grilled cheese sandwich on a show called The Best Thing I Ever Ate.
I remember that,
Right.
and I loved that show.
And shout out to Adam Gertler.
That show was where every like Food Network personality talked about their favorite thing across the United States, like a particular restaurant.
So they came in to like film like the segment about it, and I was
you
fucking
charmed
charming.
their pants
I was
up.
charming as fuck.
No way.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
And
I
they're
have my
like,
moments.
We've got to get this guy.
And they're like, "Oh, this guy's got it." So they put me on Next Iron Chef.
Okay.
Oh.
I proceeded to get thrown off of first.
Oh.
I was there for like 2 days. They gave me crickets.
But then you were on Iron Chef Redemption.
So then, yeah, I was on Iron Chef Redemption too. Yeah. I did that.
Did you redeem yourself?
Oh, I redeemed myself episode 1, and then I got thrown off like episode 4. I was cooking amazing on that show. I got fucked. Like I was about to be an Iron Chef. I was killing it. And then
Why
I
do you
had
think
like one.
Food Network
I had
fucked
one
you?
because I don't think they fucked me. I don't think that happened. I fucked myself.
Okay. What?
They gave me significant challenges, but I wasn't like I slipped up. It wasn't like I was like, what do you mean I'm off? Like I legitimately knew I'm like,
Okay.
duh, I'm off. Like shouldn't be because I'm killing it right now. But that one, like I had to slip up. Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about
It hurts.
cooking on
Competition
food
shows?
TV and competition shows?
Torn.
Is it what we see? Like, tell us
No,
about
it's
the reality of
definitive-
it.
I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's kind of what you see. It's kind of what you see. I mean, like, you know, there's edits and stuff like that. Like, I definitively don't believe in competitive cooking as anything but entertainment.
Sure.
Yeah.
And because
It's
like
super
it doesn't.
What
like-
else could it
like,
be?
well, no, but like you have like Tournament of Champions and stuff. Like people are like champions. Like even Iron Chef, which I fucking won, right? And like that was there was a lot of honor.
That's where you beat Bobby
That's
Flay,
why
right?
I won.
By the way.
Yeah.
And
And that was really cool, but it was only because it wasn't cool. Like it was like I'm better than Bobby Flay now. It was like an accomplishment.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so like when it becomes like straight competition, it's like it's kind of stupid. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like it's entertainment.
Sure.
It's like you'll notice if you ever see me on a competition show, I swing for the fucking fences. Okay. I very
Give
rarely
the people what they want.
I very rarely cook anything that I've ever cooked before.
because it's entertainment.
Because it's entertainment. And so for me, it's like, give them good TV, right? So like I either crush
Give
people.
them what they want.
I either crush people or I go down in like
In
in a
flames.
giant ball of flames. And so like in that lens, if you say, how do I feel about competition cooking? I fucking love it. I love doing food TV. I love
'Cause you're
entertaining
just like
people.
balls to the wall,
I like
let's
hanging
go
out with my
hard.
friends. I like doing shit that I don't normally do. Like for me, like I don't love it like I don't want like I know like here's the deal. Also like I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And I know who I am, like brand wise. I know who I am. I know who I'm not going to be. I have like no like I don't intend to be like I'm just like, man, if I just keep grinding this out, I'll be the next Guy Fieri.
Speaking of which, is Guy a prick or do
No,
we
Guy's
love him?
Fucking amazing.
Okay, I met Guy once and I loved him.
Guy Fieri
he was the nicest.
is.
He was the nicest
I
guy.
don't-
Guy
I-
was the
okay,
nicest.
Wait,
Wait,
back up,
he's
back
the-
up.
he's the one with the
I didn't
hair,
say-
right?
I
And
didn't
the
say,
flame shirt.
I
Guy in
didn't-
the flames.
I didn't say he was the nicest guy.
He was the nicest guy.
I
to
said
me.
he's an amazing fucking human being. Like I love Guy Fieri more than anything. He's the Godfather. He's the greatest.
I have a great
Like,
Guy
he's the best.
story, but
He's the best. He's the best.
well, on that note, who from Food Network do you like just want to punch in the dick?
I'm not even fucking answering that question.
Nice try, though. Nice try.
You really thought that was
Wait,
coming?
Can you tell us later?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Can you write it on a piece
Sure.
of paper?
How do you feel about Bobby Flay?
I love Bobby Flay.
Okay.
I think Bobby's dope. So Bobby Flay is Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
And Guy Fieri is Elvis Presley.
I get that. I
Both-
totally see that.
Both are dope.
Right.
One is just cool, and one is larger than life.
Yeah.
Right? Amazingly talented. I love them both. There's few people that I don't like. There's some.
You want to talk shit about those people?
No,
But
I
this
don't-
is a safe space.
I know it's totally not a safe space. You want to hear something?
setting traps.
I'm going to tell you why I'm not.
trying.
I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to.
Okay.
So, like I said, I used to hate
Food Network
I used to
contracts.
hate Rocco DeSpirito. Right? I used to hate him when I worked for him. And I got interviewed about my time with Rocco. And like I was like a psychopathic, young, cocky fucking chef. And I talked hella shit about Rocco. And at the time I didn't even feel bad about it. Because at the time I was kind of like,
It was the truth.
fuck Rocco.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've now grown to love Rocco DeSpirito. The person that he is today, he's such a kind, thoughtful, talented, amazing human being, right?
That's
and
actually
he, and
good
he
to know.
probably was back then too, but he was also a condescending prick, right? And so like, and I worked for him, so like you obviously don't see the other sides. Now we're like peers. I love the dude. Guy pulls me aside at the ranch one day.
Because you do a lot of Guys shows. You
I'm on
judge
Team Guy. I'm
a
definitively
lot
on
of-
Team Guy.
You're on
The-
Guys
the-
grocery games.
Guys,
a
grocery
lot.
games, ranch kitchen,
Sure.
tournament champion. Like, yeah. So guys like, what's this I hear about you and Rocco can't be up at the ranch at the same time?
Oh,
and I'm like,
beef.
what? He's like, yeah, somebody told me that you shouldn't bring them both up at the same time because they don't like each other. And I'm like, dude, like that's fucking dumb. I'm like, we love each other. I'm like, I used to hate
Right.
Rocco. It meant at the time that I passionately hated Rocco, I meant nothing to him. You know what I mean? Like, let's
like,
be clear.
who?
This was like a one-sided, like, fuck that guy. And he's like, Eric, who?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was definitively that.
He's too busy being super pretty and
He
cooking
is-
for Jeffrey
he's
Chodorow.
pretty as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, but I told Guy the story. I'm like, I used to work for him. He was a total asshole to me. I fucking walked out, and like,
I was also an asshole.
At that time I was totally right.
Doing
But
some of the cocaine, but not all of it.
Never at work. I did a ton of cocaine after I walked out on him. In fact, there were so many cooks who idolized me for the fight that me and Rocco had that I couldn't tell you how many free bumps of cocaine I got over years and years and years in dark New York City bars of people who are just like,
That's a solid score. That saves you a lot of money
it was helpful to
on
them.
a line cook salary.
It was helpful.
That's going to save you a lot of money.
So, and that's how the show Grudge Match got started. Me and Rocco wound up doing wound up being the pilot competition.
What's
Grudge Match is like a Food Network show where it's like they bring back old beefs, but it's funny because like it feels like they kind of
they create
them
For you
all
guys.
with the exception of me and Rocco's. And what sucks is like we're getting interviewed, right? And like Rocco didn't know that I talked shit about him to the press because Rocco didn't give a fuck about me back then, right?
like, I don't know who
right?
that
He
guy
wasn't Googling Rocco DeSpirito chef like, Eric Greenspan, he didn't give a fuck, right?
What did I ever do to him?
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, who won the grudge match?
Well, hang on, but I'm telling a fucking story here.
We have so many things to
And
talk
so
about.
we will do 2 episodes. And there will be a part 1 and there will be a part fucking 2, but I will not be edited.
Oh, clearly.
Continue.
Thank you.
Grudge match.
I think we need to have one, maybe.
A grudge match?
Yeah.
I'll fucking smoke you.
Oh, I will destroy you. Continue.
And in the interview, they bring up all of the press that I talked shit about. He's like,
Of
this
course.
is what
Here you
back in the day.
go.
This is what
Did you
Eric
know-
said about
and
you.
I quote.
Did you know Eric felt this way? And poor fucking Rock was like, that's my friend. And this is the first I'm hearing about it. And I was like, Chef, I'm so sorry. Like, it was a long time ago. You definitively deserved it, but you don't deserve it now. And we shouldn't relive these past memories. But it's television, so like,
So we have to-
let's fucking go.
And the show is called
Right.
Grudge Match.
I won.
You won.
Yeah, I smoked it.
Okay. Did he ever? How did he feel about that?
He was fine. He didn't give a fuck.
He's like, I don't.
He's like, buy my book, motherfuckers. Buy my fucking book. By the way, his books are great. He does good cookbook. Rocco DeSpirito does really good cookbook.
Never owned one. But
Shocking.
You also do good cookbook.
One.
And
two. I did the Weight Watchers one.
According to Google.
Ta-da!
Okay,
that one worked out.
So when I Googled you, I got Eric Green, and it was like the third thing. Weight Watchers.
Yeah. I was a Weight Watchers brand ambassador for 2 years.
The turkey chili came.
It is not very easy. Like, what did I learn? The most valuable thing I learned in the ghost kitchen industry, and people hate to hear this from me because I'm supposed to be like the guy who waves the flag, and I do believe in the industry completely. It needs, like I said, it's inning one, and it has a lot of steps that it needs to take to make it a viable form of business right now for most. It worked for me, but for most people. The most valuable thing I learned was how valuable a sign is. Because when all of a sudden you don't have a sign, to cut through the noise of restaurants and to get somebody to order your food, if they've never seen your sign, they've never looked at your restaurant, they don't have any idea. You're just a fucking thumbnail. And that's very hard to get somebody to commit to ordering.
Okay, so now that you've said that, let's talk about your latest thing, duck.
Yeah.
So you're doing a delivery-only whole
So wait,
duck
so
situation. Tell us
all right,
about
let's
that.
set
You
this-
don't have a sign.
Let's set this up.
Yet.
And it's not working yet. Let's set this up. So after I left Ghost Kitchens, I was the employee one at a company called Virtual Dining Concepts. So what we did was we took Ghost Kitchen brands, but instead of executing them ourselves, we licensed them off to existing operators. Okay, where we're like, here's the training materials, here's the branding, here's the packaging, here's the bag, here's the tablet. When that tablet goes ding, make it this way, put it in a bag, hand it to the driver. Thank you very much, RevShare. Brilliant model, theoretically. Mm-hmm. Kept many restaurants open.
Yeah.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
But like we launched a brand called Mr. Beast Burger, with Mr. Beast, who's like a big YouTuber. Fastest growing restaurant concept in the history of restaurants ever. We opened up 2,500 storefronts in a year and a half. Mind you, they were virtual. They were like just turning on tablets inside other people's restaurants. I don't know what that means. It was fucking insane. Super dystopian. So like I came out of that and I thinks to myself, Eric, to my point before about like the pivot thing.
Yeah.
And like very few people, I've done so many fucking things that there's very few people out there who think of me now as a fine dining chef. Not just like a fine dining chef. You're like, I'm going to brag a little bit. Like I fucking kill it.
You did.
Like,
but you ended up being the grilled cheese.
I want to be the grilled cheese guy.
And the Food
Weight
Network.
Watchers
and
turkey
the-
chili guy.
Exactly. And so I was like, how do I get that back without opening up a restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And how do I still continue to be a disruptor in the virtual industry? Because like I'm like once you're the thought leader in an industry, you shouldn't exit said industry. You should stay current in it. And so I came up with the idea with Duck. And the idea was like after the pandemic, every restaurant that's going to be on a delivery site is already there. Like the only way the DoorDashes and the Grubhubs and the Postmates and the Uber Eats are going to sign on new customers, right, is one restaurant closes, right, and then another restaurant opens in its place and they get signed up. Because like who isn't
Right.
on the delivery apps? I'll tell you who's on the delivery apps.
Tell us.
Tell us.
Fine dining restaurants are on the delivery apps. And pop-ups are on the delivery apps.
Correct.
And so I says to myself, wouldn't it be cool if we explored that and figured out how to like do that? And so, and I had, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine who's like a journalist, and when he reached out to me, he's like, "Oh, you finally did Duck." And he remembered that I told him about Duck while I was in the ghost kitchen. I was like, wouldn't it be?
I found an article where you were talking about Duck in 2017.
Yeah.
And Duck just started.
By Andy Yang, Andy Wang, wrote it.
Andy Wong.
Andy Wong.
Spelled Wang, pronounced Wong.
I love Andy, by the way. And now, can you edit that part out so I don't mispronounce his name?
No.
Because I'm supposed to be like hanging out with him in Vegas next week, and like that was super.
Grudge match
Can you-
2.
Wong.
Right?
Take 2.
Wong versus Greenspan.
Andy Wong. Take
Now it's
2.
a bit. We're not editing
Je
it out.
répète, Andy Wong. So yeah, I talked about Duck way back then, and then just kind of tabled it and did all the shit that I did. So I was like, let's bust that back out and let's do that. So it's basically, it's a high-end delivery pop-up. I do it once a month. It's the last Thursday of every month. Next Thursday, actually. And it's a whole duck, but it's broken down. So the breast is cooked one way.
You're
the
making it
legs
easy
cooked
for the
another
people.
way.
Okay.
I make it's not Peking duck, so it's not steam buns or those little pancakes, right? But instead of that, but it's an homage to that, right? So like I
Give me
make
the whole
like this
duck.
first menu, I make buckwheat crepes. And like instead of like the scallions and the cucumbers, I make this like endive apple cabbage slaw dressed in rice
sounds
wine.
delightful.
And also,
No,
it
it's
sounds
fucking
approachable.
good. It's strangely and it's totally not approachable, but it sounds approachable. And like I make a Chinese hot honey mustard.
Okay.
Love it.
Delicious.
I bet.
So good.
I'm sold.
And
This
so
is
yeah.
only in LA.
So but the idea for
Oh.
duck.
You
No,
did-
not
you did
yet.
a
not
collab
yet.
with Bert,
No,
right?
we're gonna
From
do.
Slab?
We do collabs. I did a collab with
I
Bert
love
from Slab.
Bert. Bert's
We're
my
gonna
boy.
we're doing a collab next month with Gigiata, the sandwich shop out in LA. Yeah, we're doing like this smoked duck breast sandwich called The Answer. It's gonna be awesome. It's just fun. It's funny. Like my wife, like forgot that I was an entrepreneur when I had a job for like 3 years, a well-paying one. And now that I'm like back to being an entrepreneur, she's like, "Fuck you,
Mrs. Greeny is back to
she's
being
like,
proud.
she's like, and so like, you know, when she gets
This
mad at me,
guy.
like she's often proud of me, but when she gets like mad at me, it's like, and your fucking hobbies, like she refers to like at all of my ventures as like hobbies, and like, but like, and like she's totally wrong and just being emotional about most of them, but like duck is definitively, she's dead on correct. She's like, why the fuck am I sitting at home alone with the kids tonight while you're out like making a couple of duck breasts for people? It's like a fucking hobby. Like, how are you ever gonna make money out of it? And I'm like, and like all the other ones, like the cheese company or like everything else, like, I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, come on, you're just being emotional. Like, of course you see.
Because all women are
Of course
emotional, Eric.
Of course you see
Is
the
that what you're
forest.
saying?
Of course you see the forest in front of the trees. On duck, there's legitimately no forest and there are no trees. She's 100% right. It's
Say that again.
She's 100% right.
Yeah.
It is a
There you go, Mrs.
fucking.
Greeny.
It is a fucking hobby. It is for now. I will figure out how to monetize it.
Do what you love and
But
blah,
like
blah,
it's
blah.
definitively like I'm like once a month I cook one fucking thing that is high end and delicious and people order it and love it and lavish me with praise and I don't make any money on it but people are like, yo, that duck's fucking delicious and that's the coolest idea I've ever heard. I'm like, and to me that's enough sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that.
There was
Sometimes
this
you
one
need that
time
shit.
when I got this duck and it was delivered.
Yeah,
and it was so cool.
it was dope. Oh,
Yeah.
you did that?
Oh my God,
you're cool. I'm like, and
I
broke.
couldn't get it.
But yes, cool. Yeah, it's duck.
Duck.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're getting.
I'm trying to bring it to Coachella.
Oh, well, that'll
Jesus.
get
Wouldn't that be
that'll
fun?
get into the millennials.
Yeah.
That'll make you some money.
The millennials love me.
Oh my God.
It's passion fruit, the vape.
Well,
Did I mention?
let's leave the vape. We're gonna come back to your entrepreneur status.
Oh, we're
but
taking
for
a break?
now, like, no,
For
we're
the
not.
sponsors?
No, we're
I
not
was
taking
gonna
a break.
say,
There's
this is where you're like,
No.
sponsored by Spotify.
Sponsored by New School Cheese.
Yeah, sponsored by New School American Cheese and
No, this
and
is what I
Max
want to
Flow
know.
passion fruit vape.
This is what I want to know. You have lived on both coasts.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know how you think people eat differently on each coast, how you think food is interpreted differently, East Coast versus West Coast. I think about this a lot, having
He
lived.
really does.
I know.
All right, so
Every time somebody is from the other coast, I ask them these questions.
Yeah. Quick and dirty,
My
quick and dirty.
answer, and you don't get quick answers from me. I don't know if you've noticed that.
okay.
But my quick answer is it's not much different. I think the three main differences are A, seasonality is dealt with differently.
Absolutely.
In California because it's still seasonal, but like, you know, it's kind of easy to be seasonal on the East Coast in many ways. Like when squash and root vegetables are in season, it's getting cold. And so like, it's very easy to
had enough
prepare
squash.
a cold weather squash dish. It is a lot harder to prepare a 72 degree and sunny squash dish. And so like a lot of the, like you have to be more creative on the West Coast because you're given
Interesting take.
You're
'Cause
given
it's always
produce.
the same
You're
season.
given produce, but
There
it's
is a
always
season.
but the season is only from Mother Earth. It has nothing to do with the fucking temperature. And so you have to be like you have to do interesting things as opposed to like at least like dealing with what tradition gives you. So that's number one.
I like that.
Yeah.
I will say number two, fine dining is not a thing in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
Like there's a couple places that do it, but like people who live in Los Angeles would either A, hire a chef to come to your fucking house
Yep.
and not leave your house because like people don't have apartments here. People there have houses.
Houses.
And
They
don't
have
want
room for
and they don't
people.
want to leave
Right.
their houses. They have kitchens to cook in
gorgeous,
and room for people.
gigantic
And so like
houses.
it's a lot harder to get someone to come out of their house to eat. And when they do it, it is not to get buttoned up. Now, not to say that like Providence and Malise aren't phenomenal world-class restaurants, because they are.
And these are like fancy.
These are fine dining, like the Michelin star.
Fine dining Michelin star
and like
restaurants
people
in LA.
go there, but typically like a wealthy foodie in Los Angeles is like, you know what I'm eating fine dining? When I fly to fucking Paris, or when I go to or when I go to New York, and when I'm in LA, even I'll spend fine dining money at a douchey fucking steakhouse before I will go spend that same money at a supremely executed fine dining meal, because I just don't want to fucking put on shoes.
So what's 3?
It's the shoes.
It's definitive.
People in LA just don't want to.
They don't want to put on the shoes. They don't want to wear nice shoes.
No.
And like, fuck, I'm not wearing nice shoes. Overcharge me for the tomahawk. I am not wearing.
I'm
nice
barefoot
shoes.
and smell like patchouli.
What's number 3? I don't fucking remember. What's number 3?
All right. Well, tell me what makes you horny about being a chef in LA.
What makes me horny?
Yeah. What do you get off on about being a chef in LA?
I get off on changing people's perceptions on things.
Okay.
Whether it be flavors that go together, or new ways to execute things, or just like I will never, ever do anything down the middle of the road. Like that does not fly. I will always do something.
I hate that I'm going to ask you this, but what's your sign?
Mean? Oh, what's your sign?
No.
I don't know what's my sign.
Just because, you tell me, because I'm curious.
I'm an Aries.
Oh my God, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do anything like half-assed.
I don't do anything half-assed,
It's
but
just
I don't do anything.
fire. We will burn ourselves to the ground.
I don't think things through often.
So
but,
true. Wait, when's your birthday?
April 18th. Do we have the same birthday?
What? Your birthday is April 18th? We have the same birthday?
What?
Just figured this out.
That's crazy.
God, I feel so much closer to you. I feel like I know you.
Yeah,
this makes so much sense.
We're like
you both
twins.
are fucking
Maybe
crazy.
we're twins.
April 18th, baby.
Yeah,
now there are 2 of them.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh no.
So that's what makes me horny. That's what gets me off. It's like when people are like, I've never seen that before. Like,
that's fucking hot.
perfect.
We just go for it.
That's my thing. Like, yeah. Like I don't want to give you anything. You're like, oh, that's just like something else that I've ever had. Like, fuck that. Like, life's too short for that shit.
Okay, so on the flip side, what's your favorite thing about dining in New York? Because I know you're here a lot.
It's funny. Like, I don't dine in New York that much. I eat a lot.
No, tell us about that.
But like for me, it's like, like there's the quintessential New York thing. Like before we came here, and I know we're going out to dinner after this, but before we came here, I went to Pastrami Queen and crushed fucking everything.
Yes.
Everything. I'm even like, can I get a small cup of chopped liver to dip my latke in? And they're like,
oh my God,
like,
I'm gonna slide off my chair.
Yeah, they're like, of course you can. I'm like, because I just need the small cup because I'm going out to dinner. And I'm already having a pastrami sandwich and a knish and a bowl of matzo.
I need the taste and I need the...
like pizza. Like you got to get your pizza fix because there is no good pizza. Like there's good pizza.
There's good pizza in LA.
But it's hard to find. And I'm not a Neapolitan guy. And most good pizza in LA is Neapolitan. I'm sure we've got Apolloni, we've got Danny Boys. There's a couple, but there's not many. And New York, it's like,
it's the standard.
There's like the bagel thing. It's like, I find myself like eating, like I fiend for like, and I respect all of the fine dining stuff. And I'm sure like A, if I had more money and B, I had more time, I would probably do it more often. But I'm like, by the time I'm done gorging like a fucking savage on like everything that's so great about like kind of like the food of the people in this town, I don't have time to be like, and what does Danielle have for a seafood canal? You know what I mean? Like
5 hours later.
Yeah, like I'm like, cool, dude. Like, great. Like 5, like, right? Like I'm like, this is not how I want to spend. Like, I
had 7 meals
when
today.
I hit this town, and you know this. I hit this town fucking hard.
You do.
I come to New York.
You can take it.
I know it can.
It can take it,
and that's why I do it.
Yeah.
But like I go. I don't have time to sit down and fucking like have and I'll be honest with you too, like
and for
fine
our
dining,
5th course.
and I'll be clear, like fine dining for me so very rarely impresses.
I agree with that.
Like I'm just kind of like, yay.
I'd much
like,
rather have like the noodle spot that's under the radar than like the Michelin.
Or, to be clear, I would like to have a fine dining meal
that lives
played
up to
at
the
double
hype.
speed.
I feel like you do a lot. Your life is double speed.
But like, but lives up to the hype to where like I've had meals like that.
Yeah. But more often you're like,
now,
it's so
there's
rare.
been too many times where it hasn't been. And mind you, look, my standards are fucking high.
Same.
I will eat at a fine dining restaurant and be like, dude, that's what you did, bro. Like, you didn't think to do this. And that. I wouldn't do that to a pizza guy. I wouldn't do that to I wouldn't do that to a burger guy. I'd be like, yeah, it's good. But like a fine dining restaurant, if I'm dropping fucking $40 on this plate, like, and that's how you cooked your rabbit.
If I'm dropping,
what the fuck are you talking about?
$600 a person.
Yeah. I said a plate. That was
$40 a plate. That's
$40 a plate, but you're having like 20
But you're like
plates.
80, 100
You're having
plates.
a ton of plates.
I get it.
So many, all the plates.
Well, on that note, do you think, because I know you travel a lot.
I do.
Like, where else in the United States are you loving their food scene right now? Like, what do you think is really popping? And this is not like a fine dining question, because I feel like most times those are not the places that we say we love. What do you got? Or have you traveled to recently that you're like, that was sick?
I just got back from Philly.
Tell us about that.
I liked Philly. I this time around, I literally just had we did a smash burger pop up. But like, I do know that the last time I was in Philly before that, like, I think that there's a lot of fun. You can be a deranged foodie for 18 hours in Philly and do great. You can in New Orleans as well. Nashville, I think Nashville has the highs and the lows. I fucking love that town. I think
Give some shout outs. What do you got? What do you love?
In Nashville?
As I continue to drink this tequila.
I mean, like, honestly, and it's the most corporate of all the hot chicken places, but I think
Hattie B's
is fucking so good.
I think it's great.
It's so unbelievably
I
good.
mean, it's the
And, like,
standard for a reason.
I don't think their chicken's the best. I actually like
the sides are
Bolton's a
great.
little bit better, but the sides.
Yeah, but Bolton's
the
is sporadic. Bolton's, you'll have one bite and you're like, oh, that's
And
well
Bolton's
seasoned. And then you'll have
catfish.
another bite. You'll have another bite of Bolton's. And you're like, oh my God, like you put all the seasoning right there.
But yeah, Hattie B's has the sides
Hattie
on
B's
lock.
fucking kills it.
Like someone's in town, where are you taking them?
Bavel.
Bavel. Ugh, Ori.
I mean,
Chef
Ori's-
Ori. Killing it with
That
Bavel.
restaurant,
why?
Bavel,
What is
because
that?
it's just fucking
Bestia.
great. And let's put it this way.
Safi's.
Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
You drop $150 a head. Okay. You had 4 different kinds of flatbread and 3 different kinds of hummus and a couple
And
of
the
other
best
things.
lamb
And
you've
don't-
ever had in your
and
life.
you don't fucking care because it was worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
all
that's how. Like yes, of course, the
It's
lamb
flatbread
shawarma,
and hummus.
lamb neck shawarma, and like the things that go with it. Obviously, like it's not just what it is, but the fact that at its core, that's what you ate, and you will pay whatever they can. They can drop a check for you for whatever amount they want to.
Take my
And
money.
you're just like, here you go.
Also,
it's like from back in the day when you're getting back a good cocaine, and you're just like I don't care. Like it's
that's
like,
what it costs.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's $80. It's $60. It's $50. I don't care. I just want
If
it.
you say so.
And that's what lamb neck shawarma is for me now.
The lamb
Okay.
neck is amazing.
yeah.
But I've also taken you to his other restaurant, Bestia, which has been around for so long.
Which I love, but it's not Pavel.
It's not Bavel, but beautiful pastas, just beautiful food all around. He is the quintessential LA just guy. Like what he's doing with Bestia, Bavel, and
he's great.
Safi's.
And
he's just
Soto,
killing it.
which is Naka's like sister restaurant.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
It's a kind of
Is that in West LA as
transformative
well?
and peaceful. It's in Adams.
Okay, West Adams.
Yeah, it's deep. I really like that restaurant now. That's one of the restaurants that I really like to go. I got to tell you, like Evan Funky's killing it.
Yeah, what? Okay, so Evan Funky has started off with Felix in Venice, Temple to Pasta, now has Mother Wolf, and now has Funky. What's your favorite
Mother
of
Wolf.
Mother Wolf? Really?
Yeah, the room.
Shout out to my friend Michael, who's a bartender there.
I love the room.
The room feels very Vegas to me.
It just feels transformative and like fucking like
It feels
ceremonial.
very
I don't
Vegas.
think it feels Vegas. I feel like you say that now until they open one up in Vegas, and then you'll know what that restaurant is
You're
like in
oh,
Vegas.
this
I have to say,
There's no
my
teal.
favorite thing at Mother Wolf was the lamb. Again, I was obsessed with the lamb.
I think I love that. I mean, look, I like all of his restaurants. I think that one is the best one because of like, look, at the end of the day too, like, and it's partially like food like that, especially like Italian food. And I'm gonna put myself on a hill. Okay, that people won't
We've
believe
got
me.
hills coming shortly, so don't give us all of it. We'll save the hill
Italian
for
food.
5 minutes.
Italian food for me is very hard to make transformatively experiential cuisine.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Right? It even at its best, you're like, whoa.
But grandma made it.
Like grandma
made it
Well,
better.
guess what? My grandma didn't make it. So like that, like you're not bringing me back to nostalgia because I'm a fucking Jew and like grandma
I'm both.
made.
I'm both.
Okay, I'm not. And so like my grandma never made me cacio e pepe. So I'm not.
But did she make you chopped liver?
It's not, of course. And it wasn't nearly as good as pastrami.
Oh no, no!
I love my grandmother. It was not. We all have our place. And so I require of my Italian restaurant experiences, to be well executed still, but even when it's supremely executed, the ambiance and the room become even more important to me than it would for a different type of cuisines.
Interesting. So would you say there is a Italian restaurant in New York that would rival that, or that?
I don't eat enough Italian in New York. You tell me.
Well, that's now I know where I'm taking you next time you're in town. We're gonna go for some red sauce Italian.
Yeah, I love good
I
red
have
sauce.
several places.
I imagine you do.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah. Like, I don't chill.
You know what? To me,
like
that
I'll
just
smoke a
kinda
bowl.
says-
I'll smoke a bowl and listen to music. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
and chill. But even then, I'm like, should I turn the smoker on and throw something in the smoker?
See, but that just kind of to the fact that you love the industry so hard.
I do.
You love
I
it
love
so
it
hard. So tell me then, like, what is currently happening in dining that you just fucking love? Like, what's your favorite thing that's going on right now? Because we're gonna flip it in a second, but I want to know what your favorite thing is right now.
I love micro-ethnic cuisine. Like people who are like, it's not African. It's like this country from Africa.
Yes.
And I'm
this
doing
village.
It's like
and
this.
this.
You know, I hate because I know we're probably going there anyway.
We're going there.
He's
You might want to
jumping the
save
gun.
it. You might want to save it.
Well, I'm a big
Because
fan
this
of the podcast.
brings us
I'm a big
to-
fan of the podcast, and I've heard all the other episodes.
yeah.
Oh, right.
yeah.
But this brings us to our next segment, which is called. I'm going to do an. Do you know how to do an air horn? Do it in the mic. No. I was thinking more like.
do it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Ah.
Oh, that's.
Like that?
Worst podcast ever.
Ever.
We don't have a budget yet for the air horn
So you need an air horn.
noise.
Okay, what's it called?
What do we
What's it-
But this segment. No, that's horrible. This segment is called I Don't Fuck With That. Okay? So
Okay.
I'm going to tell you something I don't fuck with. Judith is going to tell you something she doesn't fuck with. And then you're going to tell us something you don't fuck with. And it should be something about the current state of dining and what we're just fucking on our hill, just pissed off.
Right.
And right now, what I want to talk to you
But you guys are
about.
prepared about it. Like you guys have notes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know I had to do this.
So you want to know what's pissing me off?
I tried.
He's pointing to Candace, our producer, right now.
Candace called me like 8 times. And like every time, I'm like, I'll call you back in like 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
like, I did something
What
else.
a dick.
Yeah, total dick. I meant no disrespect, and now I'm paying the punishment.
If only we had a camera on
Right.
Candace. We need one.
Right.
All right, so here's what I don't fuck with.
What don't you fuck with?
This is what's pissing me off right now.
What's pissing you off?
Caviar.
Really?
Caviar is an upsell. Caviar
It's on
bumps.
this. It's over here. It's you got it.
Caviar on fucking fried chicken. Caviar on bagel. Let's put caviar on everything and charge people an extra fucking $50 to $100 because it's caviar and everybody wants to be bougie and whatever. Or plucking the bumps. It's like I don't want like. Put it on a Bellini. I love caviar. I'm not hating
You just
on
don't
caviar.
Need it on chicken nuggets.
No, not even that. It's just
You do need it on
what
chicken nuggets.
it has become. It's become an upsell for upsell's sake, and just like this whole faux bougie thing that pisses me off.
Is this water?
Much in the way that like Miami pisses me off, in the fact that
The
it's
whole
faux
city
bougie.
of Miami pisses you off? I'm going there this weekend.
Okay, well, have fun,
I don't tend to.
Judith.
Okay, so
What do you not fuck with this week?
okay, here it is. I Googled food trends 2024, and a lot of it was really boring. It was like, buckwheat, cacao. Like, okay.
Is buckwheat one of them?
Yeah.
I think it's because of duck.
I love cacao, actually.
I'm not saying these are
motherfucking
like,
trendsetter.
but like, why is this a trend? Anyway, Little Luxury. So I clicked on that. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I went down a rabbit hole. Dorsia is the fictional restaurant
From American
from
Psycho.
American Psycho.
It's now a real thing.
It's now a real thing, but it's like, are we also going to feed our cats to the ATM machine?
Yes.
ATM. Automated teller
shit, I did it.
machine.
To the
machine.
Oh no!
ATM, not ATM machine.
Shit.
That's another hill of mine.
Yeah,
but
no, that's not. Yeah, but I mean, it's satire. What? I'm speechless.
For those who don't know, Dorsia is now a members only sort of like pay a bunch of money, get a good reservation thing, which is
I think that's kind of funny that they name it after that.
Yeah,
actually. It's kinda-
absolutely.
But are they making?
Well, they're not gonna be a
fun
sponsor
their
of ours now.
clients?
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So like
Yes.
they're making fun of them and
Self-deprecation.
taking their
Self-deprecation.
Is it
Hottest reservation is
self-deprecation?
Dorsia.
Might be. It might not be. You're right.
All right.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, you're right. It's just douchey.
It's just losing.
By the way, you shouldn't be able to pay extra money to get a better reservation.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different
All right, that's mine.
topic.
That's mine.
Tell us. Okay. What do you not fuck with?
You know what I don't fuck with?
What?
paying extra for a reservation.
There we go.
I was going to
Shots fired.
I was going to say the paucity. I was actually going to talk about the paucity of pub burgers and how everybody does a smash burger now, and I love a good smash burger. But
Everybody does, including myself.
But nobody does a thick boy.
Nope, except Alvin.
It'll come back
Palin was doing
around.
it for
It's
It will.
trend.
So, but I will actually go back and say what I don't fuck with is like a reservation service that says like, so I am not rich and I really want to go to a restaurant, so I play by all the fucking rules.
Yep.
And I set a fucking calendar invite like a psycho.
And watch the countdown.
And I watch the
Or
countdown.
notify.
And I log in and I get my reservation, and then somebody pays like, you know, douche service is what they should
Dorsia
call
money.
it. Douchia, right?
Or appointment trader.
To bump me
Yeah.
from my reservation because they're richer than me.
Yeah.
And they somehow
Late-stage
when I was in
capitalism.
Paris, I was riding with the cab driver. And the cab driver, and I love this conversation because he said to me, he's like, the difference between America and France and why we have better food than you is because even people like me will save up all year to go eat one night at a Michelin star restaurant.
Yes.
Like, we value that and we do that. And so I take that, which to me taught me a ton about cooking for the people, but still giving them an amazing experience and recognizing the fact that no matter how many rich people you cook for, there's always that one person in the room who
Saved
really
up all
can't
year.
even afford
Yeah.
to eat at your restaurant and is choosing,
You better
is
make it
trusting you.
good.
Right, 100%. And that's why I always, when I cook in a restaurant, which is why I cannot emotionally handle owning a restaurant right now, is because when I do restaurants, I have those words in my head at all times when I'm cooking.
lot
Like,
to live up
that
to.
could be the broke ass French fucking taxi driver right now who wants to eat this short rib. It better be glazed right, because if it's not, I'm gonna
I
fucking lose
ruined his life.
life.
and therefore I will ruin other lives
And
in
it's
order
all
to get
ruined.
it there. Everything's ruined. The fact that now our country is in a place, or our society is in a place that it's like, but it's cool to not have to do that as long as you have enough money, is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's
It is.
gross.
It is. You can buy anything.
So gross.
Douchey.
So douchey.
All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
We're going to wrap it up. I have a quick
We didn't
fire
even talk
round
cheese.
for you.
Isn't that crazy? We did a
But
whole hour
no,
without
but
talking about
that's-
American cheese.
that's
Like,
my last
How do you
question.
sit down with me for an hour and not talk American cheese? It's fucking amazing.
This is my
Welcome
last
to our
question. This is my
podcast.
last question for you before we go into
my
rapid
last
fire.
question before we wrap is, so tell me about this American cheese. That's what
I
you're
am going to
do.
put your cheese
See how I tied that together?
in my fucking mouth.
Full circle.
That was what we like
That
to
was
call a
lovely.
reach around.
Yeah.
All right, it's just to wrap up, I have some quick fire questions for you.
Go.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In-N-Out or Shake Shack?
In and out.
Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie.
Best LA neighborhood for dining?
San Gabriel Valley.
Oh, hot take. Best New York City neighborhood for dining?
Lower East Side.
Favorite Food Network chef?
Christian Petroni.
Is he a Food Network chef?
Isn't he?
I don't know. I love that guy. I didn't know he's like a Food Network
Well,
chef.
I'm going to have to Google this guy.
Yeah, I love him.
Favorite.
I mean, I love a lot of them, but he's like a brother.
All right, what's your second favorite
Aaron
food?
May.
Aaron. Okay, Aaron May. Yeah,
Who I
he
actually
kills
like.
it.
I love him so much. I mean, I hate him, and I love him so much.
Okay, this is not a quick take.
Okay, favorite Food Network show.
Iron Chef.
Favorite thing to cook that you cook.
That's so hard.
Give me something.
Maybe duck.
Duck.
And not. I'm not just saying that because of like the plug. Like, I actually love cooking duck.
Your last meal on earth.
My last meal on earth. Man, I can't do that. I don't even fucking know.
What's
It's
your?
too
You
much.
don't have
Do
a favorite
you
food?
ever get to actually choose? Captain Crunch?
This is a
maybe?
good point.
Like, you don't ever, like, that's
You
like,
don't
it's such a
know.
hypothetical. You're like, if you had, like, I don't want.
Yeah, I
like,
have an answer to this. I
I'm glad you
absolutely
do.
know.
I actually definitively love, like, here's the deal. I love everything when
Okay.
it's executed well. And so, like, it just, like, so my answer is, like, something cooked to the exact standard that it needs to be cooked at. I hope to never have to be in a position, because you know what? Unless you're a fucking convicted murderer, you never actually have to sit there. And if you're a convicted murderer,
I know, we
you
don't have to
have
think about these
like,
things.
unless
It's
you're
just a
convicted-
game.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, he's ruined
I don't
your
know,
game.
like scallops. I like
Okay, great.
scallops.
Scallops.
go.
Great answer. Scallops.
I'm sorry.
Raw or seared?
I got ahead of myself. Raw or seared? Mid-rare.
Okay. And the best thing, Give a shout out to someone specific. Best thing you've put in your mouth recently.
Wow, the best thing I put in my mouth recently. I mean, honestly, like Chef Bo's patty melt that he made for me last night in Philadelphia at Liberty Kitchen was fucking unreal.
There we go.
Patty melt.
Yeah, it was
there
an unreal,
Was he using New School cheese?
God damn right he was using New School American cheese. Yes. Who doesn't?
Philistine.
I love it. All right, tell these people at home what your socials are, how they can reach you, how they can follow you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram, mostly on stories on Instagram, Chef Greeny, CHEFGRENY, and then like everything else you'll find. Like that's like where you start.
Right.
And then you start to peel away the onion and you'll find all sorts of like way more shit. Than
Layers.
Yeah, layers upon layers upon layers. I'm a millefeuille.
You are a millefeuille. Well, we're going to go eat right now,
Yeah.
which sounds great because I'm drunk and I need to put something in my stomach. Lots of tequila.
Excellent.
So thank you all for joining me. Judith.
Ladies.
I fucking love you.
Gentleman.
It was a pleasure.
Eric.
It really was.
Thanks for being here because you're an LA person and we had to get this done while you were here in New York.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to have been here. It was a lot of fun.
I love it. We'll do part 2 soon.
Duh.
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 Thank you for tuning in to Put It in My Mouth. You know the socials, you know the Instagram, you know the Patreon, blah, blah, blah. We will see you next time.
Bye.
What is I have to pee so bad. I can't hold it. I'll be right back. I was like, I can't drink this tequila.
Why didn't I like it?
Put It in My Mouth is recorded at Mill Iron Studios. Produced by Candace Fox and Tyler Milliron. Our intro music was composed by Javier Dunn. You can follow us on all socials across the board at Put It in My Mouth Pod. You can also support us on Patreon. We really appreciate your support on Patreon. Go find us and give us your money.